yes, everyone is buying a laser. I shouldn't say everyone. My town had 4 when I first started, and there's about maybe 50-ish now. So the competition is there. But that's how you need to separate and find your niche.
Right.
Right. And you need to make sure from a business perspective, if it's a hobby, and that's okay. If it's a business, you need to look at it like a business, and you need to look at it like a whole bunch. If you're a gas station owner and a whole bunch of gas stations just come in, right? What are you going to do different? How are you going to make yourself stand out? And that's how you need to look at it. How did you perform last year? You should really be measuring yourself, because what gets measured gets done. And so look at yourself and say, well, okay, am I giving away products too much? Should I raise my prices? Maybe I need to go in something else. I mean, everybody can create, 1 or 2 things that's the same that you see everybody doing. Get away from that, right?
Yeah.
If you're truly looking at it as a business.
Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to another episode of the Laser Source Podcast, #1 podcast if you're looking to grow or scale your laser business. I have a very, 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 very special guest today. It's Alisha Pate from Pate Ranch in Texas, right? Texas?
That's right. That's right, outside of Houston.
You have let's just get the plug out of the way early. You have a gigantic laser community on Facebook, right? And what's the name of that?
Hustle and Burn Laser Community.
Hustle
it's really
and
taken
Burn.
off.
Yeah, that's awesome. So many of the people that are in the Laser Everything community are members over there. And to be completely frank, it's one of the only Facebook communities that I actually hear good things about on a regular basis. So
love hearing that.
Feel proud about that, because that's super awesome. How many members do you have over there now?
We just broke 11,000 this week. I try to kind of watch it, but it's, so that's a year and maybe 4 months, so a year and 4 months. And it's just, I'm getting about 30, 35 a day. It's kind of what my average is going, but we are no bull, we're just all about teaching, training, mentoring, and showing people how to grow their business. We, myself and Melanie Joy, we saw a space that we weren't getting ourselves. When we were, in the laser space, there's a very crafty.
Yeah.
A lot of the communities are very crafty. I'm not so much crafty. I want to make cool stuff,
Yeah.
And we weren't seeing where someone could show you how to make the cool stuff and the tips and tricks. It was almost like, the hidden secrets that no one really wanted to tell you about. And I'm open kimono. I'm like, I'm going to show you how to do it, where to get the best price, how to hustle it. And I'm going to tell you about my learnings. And so does Melanie. And she's got a great side of it where she does a lot of work with realtors. And we're just very open, and we tell you kind of how it is and say, people will ask questions and say, should I get into the laser blank business? And I'm like, I wouldn't. It's flooded. Don't do that. Go do something else.
Totally.
I try to give a perspective of how I would see it as a buyer. And so it's really just taken off. And we try to keep all the, keep it real, be nice. We call people, douche canoes if they're rude and you're gone.
Right.
We have fun with it.
Yeah.
So life should be fun. And this is a fun thing that we all do. And we just keep it real in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got a full-time laser business you're running too, on top of that. It's not like you're just doing the community. You've got like a real business that you need to tend to also. Are you just putting, more than full-time, right? What are you doing? Like 60, 80 hours a week, something ridiculous like that?
Well, I actually have a real professional day job. I'm an engineer at Chevron. So I'm a drilling engineer in digital transformation. So I do about 45 hours a week of that. And then I probably do about 20 to maybe 25 to 45, 30-ish, maybe of side hustle business.
Yep.
My weekend, you know how it is. Your weekend is just making stuff.
Yep.
So, and then, a few hours a night. So that, and then running that community. So it's pretty busy.
Yeah.
But it's my passion. I love helping and teaching. And I think one of the things I like to do is a lot of analogies. So a lot of people, maybe don't understand some of the things, and I like to explain it in a common sense way. So that's what fills my bucket.
Yeah, me too. And it's nice too, because it's not just like teaching, but like learning, I feel like I'm still learning stuff every single day. And, you know, like so many people in our communities are always like, thank you so much for teaching me. I've learned so much from my community. They bring so much knowledge in, and like sometimes they're like really complicated, super in-depth topics. Other times it's like no-brainer things that I just never would have seen had somebody not like mentioned it offhand once. And it's incredibly fun to be able to just constantly, every single day that I come in here, I'm learning something new. And that keeps it like fresh and exciting and really fun.
Yeah. I think that's the beauty of this kind of craft, hobby, you know, side business, whatever you want to call it. There's many different ways that you can do something, right? You can continually keep optimizing. And as my professional side, I'm a systems engineer. So I'm always looking at, how can you make it better? How can you optimize it? And I may think something's a good idea, and then I hear someone else say, oh no, but if you did this, it's much more efficient. And that's the beauty of it. It's how someone else's lens sees something, and you can learn from it. So there's many different ways to skin a cat, right? You can always do it differently. And
your main deal right now, is it mostly CO2 lasers?
Yeah, I started with CO2. I actually was a Glowforge user. So I actually, my history is kind of funny. I had a Cricut, right? So everyone and their mother, right, had a Cricut.
Right.
And so I went to my first craft show, and I remember people walking up, this was like in 2018, and touching it and seeing if it had a lip on it, the vinyl. I'm like, ooh, that didn't look good, you know, because they're looking at your stuff. And I said, I got to do something different. And the Glowforge was really making its move. And my husband, I said, hey, I want to get this machine. And he was like, well, how much is it? And I'm like, at the time, it was $6,000. He's like, show me your business plan. And I'm like, well, he didn't say no, but you know, it's smart, right? You want to really make sure that you're going to pay it off, because that's an expensive toy. So I did. I came, and I tried to apply everything I know in my professional life to my side hobby, right? Like apply my principles. And I did, and we bought the Glowforge, and that first year we paid it off, and we sold I guess our sales were about 25,000, which it doesn't sound great, but for your first year, not knowing what you're doing, in 2019 it wasn't terrible. So I started out on that, started learning, and I quickly grew out of that laser. I really wanted to do a lot thicker, and I found myself hacking the machine all the time. You know, I was
those are tough to hack too, because they're built like laptops, you know, so like nothing is meant to be modified. Yeah, absolutely. And so I guess it would have been towards the end of 2019, starting in 2020, I started kind of getting a collection of friends that you could kind of see in that makerspace that knew what they were doing. And I stumbled onto a friend and said, you know, hey, what are you running? And she said, I'm running an Aeon Mirror 9. And I'm like, well, you know, I'll give it a try, because it was a lot bigger. Sure. And I didn't really know that space. And so I jumped in with the Mirror 9, and the space that I had on the bed was just tremendous, right? And I was just like, this is just unreal. And so I love the machine, and I killed it during graduation. Crazy, but most people don't think about graduation, how many people are buying gifts. Right. And I leveraged the COVID thing, right? Because nobody was having parties, but they were getting gifts for kids because they kind of felt bad for them. Yeah. And so in 1 month, I sold like $9,000 worth of crates, graduation crates. Yeah. That you would just stuff, you know, with goodies. And I paid that machine off quick. I mean, if you hustle it and you find the right spot, you know, you can really do some damage. But what I quickly saw was my throttle was my throughput. I was waiting for that machine to finish its job. And so I was like, I really need a second machine. And by this time, my husband's like, okay, you're losing it. Because I had already taken over the dining room. Right. You're nuts, right? Like you're nuts. Going off the cliff now. Yeah. I'm going off the ledge, you know? And so anyway, I was like, I need another machine. And he was like, okay, well, I guess go ahead and do it. Let's see what's out there. And the wait time now, because now COVID's really hitting, had hit pretty good, and you had a 6-month wait time for some machines. I said, well, I'm going to start shopping around other brands to see what's out there. And as you can see, these Thunders behind me, I ordered the Thunder 63, and they were like, it'll be here in a month. And when that thing showed up, it really opened my eyes, my aperture into what you could really do. Instead of just doing a cutting board, I can throw a whole slab and do, you know, a bench. Yeah. I can make humongous things. That bed on there is 63 by 40. So it really changed the game. I started doing jobs for like
homeowners associations for signs outside their entrances and just really different kind of things. And as I'm doing this, I'm in a somewhat of a smaller community, and it was all word of mouth. I have 0 websites as far as Shopify or anything like that. It was all word of mouth and just working my network. I'm pretty social. I'm mostly an extroverted, and that's one thing that I like to teach people on Hustle and Burn is that get out there, be extroverted, be proud of your product and show them what you can do, because people love that passion and that energy, and they're willing to kind of go in there with you, right? And say, well, what do you have? If you're quiet and a little bit introverted, not always, but you got to find that penetration point to get in there.
You can fake it a little, you get in there, you get them excited, and then you can kind of riff off their energy too. That's because I'm an introverted guy and I have a YouTube channel, you know what I mean? That's just, if you put just some good vibes out there, people reflect that back to you, and it gets so much easier. But if you don't talk to people and you don't get out there with your craft and say, here I am, I think that's why a lot of people burn out of this industry really fast. They can have the technical stuff down, they can have the right products, and they just don't know how to show it to people in a way that they can make sales. And there's a lot of, I feel like you can tell somebody how to do that a lot, but at some point they have to take a step, and that can be a really hard step to take. So I know where you're coming from the other side of the fence, because I'm not extroverted at all. I like to hide in my dark dungeon down here away from the sun. And, but taking that step can really make a huge difference. One of the first things, and you're very much, I from the Hustle and Burn Facebook group, the hustle is a capital H, it's a really big part of what you're doing with people over there. And what I have seen is that even just, I don't do the hustle so much. I'm way more technical because I'm kind of a nerd. But the first thing that we tell people all the time is make a Google Maps listing. Just make let people in your area know. Those are the people that are going to care. If you're trying to open a business and throw up a website on Shopify and market to the entire country, they don't know you from a hole in the wall. You have to hit your community first, because those are the people you're going to really be able to share that energy with them, and they're going to get excited because you are part of their community and you have these skills, and so I totally get it.
Yeah. So, and that's what I was doing. I was just leveraging my community. I mean, my children are in FFA, and I was Future Farmers of America, and I was, working and giving them awards and certain things for their events and they were like, wow, and that's what you do. You leverage the things that you like and you work with that community. So anyway, I ended up having 2 lasers in my dining room, and my husband's like, you've totally lost it. So my neighbors thought I was really nuts. And I'm like, well, you never talk to me anyway, so it doesn't matter. but anyway, I just loved the aspect of being able to take something from design to an end product. And I think that's what I really like about it. Most people will say, well, how did you get into this? Why do you like it? It's really the software design aspect. I could spend all day in the software design, but when you hand something to somebody that you've made the finished product, and they're like, wow, this meant something when I gave it to my father, who the wife deceased recently. You see that an emotional connection. Right. So that's what was really drawing me in. But anyway, so I ended up loving my Thunder 63, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to have 2 of these bad boys. I ended up selling my mirror, replacing it with the Thunder 35, and I've been real happy with it. Just a few features that I like better over the other, but it was kind of where I am now. I recently moved from the city to my ranch, and what I have now is a full-blown shop. Yep. So that's kind of been a dream, 3 years to kind of get to where I am. And then in December, I added on a fiber machine. So that's new to me. I'm still in very much learning curve, and that's one thing that I want to reiterate to people. Always be learning, always increasing your knowledge. Add one more tool to your toolbox. I'm big about having multiple tools in your toolbox. I think that the power to doing things is the aggregation or integration of multiple tools.
Yeah, and I say this just about every week on the podcast, but people always ask me, weekly, sometimes daily, should I upgrade from a CO2 to a fiber? And I'm like, that's not an upgrade, man. That's like a lateral. They're different tools in your tool belt. Even like the little diode lasers they have their place, man. And I didn't believe that before I got one, but they're all different tools that do different jobs for different situations. And forcing yourself to just use one and looking at it as like an upgrade path is the wrong view.
No, it's like a different, it's a different requirement, right? So you can work on some metal things, you go here. If you're going to work on, woodworking, you can try this one. I've got a leather stitcher. If you're going to do, you got to get the right tool for it.
Yeah.
I got a nice bandsaw that does a different thing that maybe something else doesn't do. So that's where I see that there's a lot of opportunity, is the aggregation of the tools. And I think that's where people are going to find their niche, right? I mean, for example, we have a sawmill on our land, and we love taking our wood and making things out of it. Mm-hmm. And so not many people have the opportunity to have a sawmill, but it gives me a different edge over just the random person who can't do that, because I can get this beautiful wood and make my products look a lot different. And so I think that's kind of where the next place is. And just to give it a plug, started a new maker space. It's called Maker Tools, TOOLZ. That is such that it's taking the multiple tools, woodworking to CO2 laser, fiber laser, embroidery, sublimation. How do you aggregate and integrate those and make something cool? So I see that as the next big space for people that really want to change their game a little bit.
Where would we find Maker Tools if somebody wanted to check that out?
Absolutely. We just started a Facebook page. It's only been around for maybe a week.
Cool. So I can get in on that early.
Absolutely. Very much so. And, that's where my passion is. It's not just a CO2 laser. It's taking, a piece of wood and doing something really cool with it. And then, maybe doing another thing with it with a different tool, and then putting a little leather on it. That is where things can be, wow, that's different. And I don't see that on Etsy like every other store is.
Right. Yeah, especially, I would love to see that too. I'm definitely gonna have to get in on that early, because you go there and kind of like you're saying, that's the place where you'll see somebody engrave a big piece of wood, and then somehow they've figured out how to integrate embroidery into that. Yeah. And it's just like, and you see it and it washes over you like a wave, and you're like, I never saw this particular thing in that light before.
Correct.
It just blows your mind every time. And then you want to go work. It's inspiring. You want to go and get your hands on it and start messing around with that kind of stuff. And,
I saw that with a lot of my, members of Hustle and Burn. There's a few that were really awesome woodworkers. Mm-hmm. And I liked seeing that. And I like there's one guy, his name's JR, and he actually has an awesome mill, and I gravitated towards what he was doing with the woodworking skills. And I'm like, there's something there, right? His primary skills, woodworking and milling wood, but he's layered on a little bit of lasering. So where I'm primarily lasering with a little bit of wood, he's like this. And I'm like, there's a sweet spot there. And there's a place that people want to bridge across those different tool sets, which gets to the multiple tools. Yeah. So that's why we created it.
And so just final laser lineup for you. You've got you got rid of your Mira 9. We sold that. And then you bought another Thunder. So you've got 2 Thunder lasers and now a fiber. So that's the...
Yeah. I got a Bogong 50-watt JPT.
Yeah, cool. Have you played with it?
I have. Let's see if I have it here. I have somewhere the card that says Alisha on it. I've got a lot of work to do.
Right. No, the card. That's the hello world of laser engraving for sure. Is those little metal business cards. Quick question, because you use the Thunder lasers. Those are Ruida controlled machines, right? Yeah. So you're on Lightburn.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So when you got your fiber, did you get an EasyCAD 2 board or an EasyCAD 3 board?
It's an EasyCAD 3, and Jeremy Jones, my buddy, he was like, hey, tell me Lightburn's about to come out with, stuff for fiber. And I'm like, get in, man. And so I'm excited about switching over to Lightburn.
So, and one thing, and this is kind of just, I'm throwing this out there for you and for everybody who's listening. Lightburn out of the gate is only going to support EasyCAD 2 boards. I don't know if you knew that. So
I need to check and make sure, because they're going
to look into doing EasyCAD 3. Jason over at Lightburn hasn't gotten a piece of the hardware yet, so he hasn't been able to do his crazy science stuff that he does with the control boards. But so EasyCAD 3 isn't guaranteed. And part of the reason I was showing you before we started the show, this is the rotary control board for an EasyCAD 3. It's because I ripped this out of my fiber laser and I'm replacing it with an EasyCAD 2 board just so I can use Lightburn and we can do like Lightburn content on the channel. So if you need an upgrade guide for that, guys, I'll throw a card up in the description. But
perfect.
Yeah, so just a heads up, if it is truly EasyCAD 3, you're going to be...
Actually, I want to say it's 2. It's just, I haven't played around with it enough.
Yeah.
But now that you say it, I'm pretty sure it's EasyCAD 2.
Okay, good. That's what you want. Because when it's released, you want to just jump right in. It's just like this. It's so good. I was just showing the guys the other day, I was like messing around. Jason added some new photo features to Lightburn. So this is my metal business card right here. If I can get that to
that's
focus
awesome.
up. Yeah, it's really, really incredible. I keep looking at this one particular photo and I can't believe it. It doesn't look real. Like I can't believe I made that. And so Jason's doing a lot of really, really good work on getting Galvo support going.
That's good.
So yeah, we're doing the beta right now. It's just like a whole thing.
I'm actually, I'm seeing, because my network is really CO2 people and I'm kind of jumping over a little bit, seeing that's the next thing for CO2 people that really want to keep pushing themselves is the fiber space.
Right.
I mean, I can't tell you how many of my friends that are like, ooh, I need one of those. That's the next thing.
Yeah.
So I expect that space to just whoosh.
The problem with that too is that once problem in quotes with that too is that once you open the fiber door, because that's how most people get into these, they're not just opening the fiber door, they're opening the Galvo door, and then you get into Galvo lasers in general. We've got the UV and the CO2 Galvo over here too. I'm sure you've seen them before. Ridiculous machines. Similar principle to the fiber, but then you start falling off more cliffs, you know what I mean? But they're really, really capable and super cool machines, and there's very, very little information out there about them, which is why we started Laser Everything in the first place. You can find 80 million channels out there with somewhat decent CO2 laser information. Nothing on Galvo. It's just non-existent. It's just not out there. And so I was like, nobody else is going to do it. I'm going to do it. So we just kind of started uploading videos. The first ones are so bad, but we kind of grew a community out of that. Now there's a Galvo space, and it's just so cool. But you know how that feels, growing like a community, and it just kind of happens,
Right.
So we're really excited. This year's going to be really, really cool. I'm so glad you got a fiber laser. That's awesome.
I'm super excited to play with it, and I just need to get out there. But it's I'm super excited to do different stuff with metal. I mean, there's just so many things that I've seen on some of the fiber sites that are Facebook sites that I'm in, and I'm like, ooh, and your mind just kind of goes crazy. Like, what can I do with the things I'm already doing? Right.
Yep.
So it's going to be neat. That's
really cool. And so, what is the future of Hustle and Burn? Are you gonna be bringing? Are you already getting like some Galvo content over there? Is there anything like that on there?
We're starting to get a little bit. We're starting to get some members from other groups that are more fiber related. And you know how you can kind of see people when they answer the questions to come in, you can kind of see the people that you're getting in. I'm starting to see a jump over to that. And then I'm also starting to see some CNC folks come in, which is kind of nice.
Interesting.
And the other thing that I will say is what I'm happy about is it's a very diverse group. It wasn't just like, a bunch of women or all guys. It's a multiplex of people with different skills, which I love that, having different diversity of thought. But I'm starting to see lots of fiber come in, and then people going, hey, show me or tell me how that is, or what machine is that? And that's cool. I didn't know I could do that. And you're just starting to see some people ask questions that once they start seeing some different types of engraves on metal that are just, and the coins and just some of the things, the intricacies that it can do, it's really pushing a lot of people, I think, to think, do I need one of those? That's why I was saying some of my friends are like, oh man, I need to get a fiber. I've had 2 already get one that were kind of in my same CO2 space. And they're like, no, I need to do that. Even some for just tumblers alone. They're like, how quick can that be?
Yeah, and it's very quick. Galvo machines are very, very, very fast. Yeah, and things like for a long time, I'm just starting to get good. It's funny you mentioned tumblers. I'm just starting to get good with tumblers on galvo lasers. It's a little more difficult to nail it, but once you get it, it's much, much, much faster. I refused up until even a month ago, even with all of the experience Laser Everything has afforded me behind me. I refuse to do anything tumbler related on any of my other machines except for my CO2 gantry machines because it's so reliable. You know, it just works. And when you start coming into these guys, it can get a little sticky. But once you get it, it's mind-bendingly fast. Even on the CO2 galvo machine, so it's the same setup as the fiber, but with the CO2 beam instead. Those are doing tumblers in 15 to 30 seconds. Like full face, and I can't even like wrap my head around it, you know, like I feel guilty, like I need to change my pricing. That's how guilty I feel because it just goes so much faster than what I'm used to. So it's a huge space. And I'm really excited to see it grow. You were mentioning earlier about the crickets, how like everybody's got one in their living room, you know? I really feel like lasers are kind of going that direction where
they are.
It's kind of being democratized, you know, and the prices are getting so low that they're just starting to be something you have in your garage next to your drill press. And that puts us in a really exciting position, you know, being able to lead these communities forward and kind of help people during that transition. Bad news if you're trying to run a business because everybody's going to have them, but good news for learning and, you know, gaining experience with stuff.
Well, and that's where, you know, like you were asking, where's Hustle and Burn and what's its focus and where's it going? I try to tell people and teach them, hey, yes, everyone is buying a laser. I shouldn't say everyone. My town had 4 when I first started, and there's about maybe 50-ish now. So the competition is there. But that's how you need to separate and find your niche. Right. And you need to make sure from a business perspective, if it's a hobby, it's a hobby, and that's okay. If it's a business, you need to look at it like a business. And you need to look at it like a whole bunch, if you're a gas station owner and a whole bunch of gas stations just come in, right? What are you going to do different? How are you going to make yourself stand out? And that's how you need to look at it. How did you perform last year? You should really be measuring yourself because what gets measured gets done. And so look at yourself and say, well, okay, am I giving away products too much? Should I raise my prices? Maybe I need to go in something else. I mean, everybody can create, one or two things that's the same that you see everybody doing. Get away from that, right? If you're truly looking at it as a business. So that's what we're trying to do is help people take the laser space and make your business better, or say it's a hobby and that's okay. Right?
I mean, too, the other thing is that, you know, everybody in the world, in the entire world could have a laser engraver, but they're not, every single one of those people is not going to be able to do everything you can do with a laser or do everything you can do with a laser well, which is why I think like niching down, right? That's like really, really key. Like get stellar at a couple things and do them supremely well. And you're always going to win, you know, because I do this because I again, I have a YouTube channel, so I do everything and I do everything poorly, but I do everything, you know. If I was trying to, like, if I shut down the YouTube channel tomorrow and I was going to start a business, I'd be up a creek because I can do everything a little bit. Don't be me, do the stuff that gets you really excited and get super good at it because nobody's going to be able to touch you. Doesn't matter how many laser engravers you've got in your town. If you've mastered doing a few specific things, and I mean mastered, right? No, that is absolutely key. I totally agree with you. You know, everybody has too many product lines and they're like, well, this is the next thing. It's like, take that one, maybe 3 or 4 things and really knock them out of the park. And then you're known for that. Like I do a lot of things with the wood from my land, cedar wood. I mean, signs, all kinds of things. And it's beautiful wood. And so now people around my community are like, oh, Alicia's known for cedar wood, awards, all kinds of stuff. Right. And they're killer. And that cedar engraves beautifully on a CO2 laser. And so we've perfected ourselves in that and the finish that we put on them, etc. And it's like, that's where people need to think to separate yourself because there's going to be everyone and their mother is going to make an ornament, right? And all you got to do is go buy it. That's not where you want to chase. So that's what we're trying to teach people and trying to give them guidance on.
and give them guidance on, you know what, there's also a market. And if you're selling digital files, do it in other languages. Because look how many people are buying stuff and buying lasers that are multi-language, right?
Yep.
So I've sold several files that are in Spanish, and
Yep.
I'm like, I'm shocked. If you can go look on Etsy to find a digital file and you can't find them in other languages, there's a market there, right?
Yep.
Just go after it, go get it. So
Well, I think
that's what we're doing.
things with laser too are like so clean and so perfect when they come out of the machine. I think people are a little bit afraid for their projects to have any personality, and it needs to have some personality, you know, because when you get into like this doom scrolling on, you know, social media, and you're looking at the stuff that everybody else is putting out, and I feel like you get into this mindset where you're like, how can I make my stuff look like everybody else's? It's almost a trap, you know, like you kind of trap yourself into that thinking. I need my stuff to look like that. And your stuff needs to look like your stuff. If your stuff looks like that, then you're artificially creating competition for yourself. That doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I love the projects that come in from people that really push me. There's a lady recently that said, I want a 4-foot fish. It was going to go on a house in a beach house in Galveston, 4-foot wide fish with her address.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was like, okay, it's cool, but now you got to put it outside. How are you going to make it? You had to do it different. And it was like, not a big deal to make a 4-foot fish, but it was something different that you don't see every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And so that's the main thing, is just keep learning, be smart about what you do with your business, treat it like it's a real business, like a company would do. You know, I encourage people to do a SWOT analysis at the end of every year and try to take them on that journey of what that is, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So we try to teach the business side. And then what's your business plan going to look like this coming year, right? If you need to set your targets, and where do you want to be, and then start measuring yourself. And that's what we try to teach on there, in addition to the cool technical stuff. I'm more of a person who likes to make a quick video on, okay, this is what I did with my tumbler, my rotary, and this is a hack and a trick, and post it. But I also like to teach the business side.
Yeah, and that's why I need to spend some time over on Hustle and Burn, I think, because I don't do that at all. I mean, so we've gotten to the point over here where the YouTube channel is the primary thing. I can say that now. I've even like stopped taking work from people at this point because I just don't have the time, like trying to produce episodes, answer questions on the communities and stuff. I just sit here and record and plan episodes all day. And I've spent about 5 minutes since I started doing this in May thinking about my business. I couldn't answer any business questions about this. I've never done any projections. I don't know what my income looks like. All that kind of stuff just goes like right over my head. And if I'm doing it, other people are definitely doing it, you know, where they get so excited. They just want to laser stuff and then like go sell it. And like, there's a lot in between, right? That you're kind of jumping over there, and you have to consider those things. Yeah.
And you need to look at it and say, you know, if it's a true business, are you making money, and are you being smart about how you're doing it, right? And you're starting to see a lot of people sell their lasers because, one, they're not using them, and two, they're not getting the money return on them. Well, how do you make it to where you can start making money? And you know, you really can do that when you start measuring it, right? Like I try to look at my financials. I use QuickBooks Online. I try to look at it I look at myself monthly and quarterly and measure myself against last year. Yeah. And I push myself and say, where do I want to be, you know, Q1, Q2, and Q3. And some of them are not even financial. They're like, I need to do a web page. Like I still haven't even done a web page. I have my daughter working on it, and I'm like, well, do I really need it? I mean, at this point, I couldn't handle the volume if I got it. Right. But I paid for it. Yeah. But so you can set different kind of targets, you know, or I want to be in these certain areas, or I'm going to go to these certain schools and try to get these coaches to, you know, use this, or try to do these charities, or whatever it is. Try to get yourself embedded and set targets just so you're treating it like a real business, if that's what it is for you. That's what I'm trying to help with. The minute that it got real here, we're talking pre-YouTube channel, when it was just laser engraving and trying to like kind of establish ourselves in the community. The day it got real, I remember it very clearly, was the day I opened a second checking account for
the business, because then you can see it, when it's mixed into like your own personal money, it's just kind of like whatever. But when you realize like, oh, it's the end of the month and I'm gonna overdraft on this business account that I just set up, like it makes it very crystal clear whether or not you're actually making income.
And people need to know that. I see a lot of people say, well, should I quit my day job to do this full time? And I tell them, hey, look, I busted my tail last year. I probably, my second year, my first year was 25,000 sales. My second year was 110,000 in sales. And I cleared 50,000. And I'm very transparent and open because I think people should know, right? Because it's not like you're going to make, millions of dollars in this and you're going to bust your tail. My third year, this last year, we sold about 125,000 and we probably made about 45, bought a lot of equipment. But they need to know that, right? And you need to measure it. And we're busting our rear end. You can't, there's not a lot of vacations. There's not a lot of,
you have to love doing this. This is a labor of love. This isn't a get rich quick scheme, because I think like everybody's like, I'm going to go to my day job, I'm going to work, I'm going to keep getting my paycheck, and then I'm going to come home and I'm going to laser some stuff and I'm going to get another paycheck. It's like you're not going to double your income like that. That's not how it works.
No, and you got to make smart decisions, right? I mean, you got to look and say, if I buy this amount of item for X amount, but I can go over here and get this, and then now I'm selling it for this, you need to be looking at what those trade-offs are. And so a lot of people just don't know that. And I think for me, what happened is I'm taking what I've known from my professional world and applying it, because I'm a project manager basically for Chevron. And so there's lots of skills that I have there. And why not apply it to here? It's the same thing. Just like if I was running a digital project and saving money or implementing tools, it's the same deal. And a lot of people just have not had the fortune to get some of the training to do that. And why not share it? Some of it's simple and basic. People
get stuck too because they want to work 40 hours a week. Then and they already have a day job, and they want to quit their day job to do this full time, but they're never making a full-time income while doing this and their day job. And so we say all the time, you're not going to make a full-time income doing a part-time job, which you're expecting your part-time after work job to generate a full-time revenue so you can feel better about quitting your real full-time job. And that's not how that works. You got to give it full-time if you want to get paid for that time. There's no shortcuts. You can't cheat your way out of that loop.
No. I mean, if you look at the people that started, businesses that we know now, right? It doesn't matter what it is. People that have well-known brand businesses, they busted their tails. And everybody knows to start a business, you're killing yourself for a while. And so, that's why I ask people, ask yourself, though, if it's a hobby, that is perfectly fine. But just know where you are, because there's a different level of skin in the game that you're going to have to get your return or your reward on it. So
because you gotta sometimes too, I mean, if you do have a full-time job and you're working a full-time job, you don't want to work it anymore. Like when you get out of work, you still have to work your side hustle like it's a full-time job. That's another 40 hours a week. I'm talking about 16-hour days. That's the name of the game. I was very lucky when we got started because my wife, bless her heart, busted her ass working a miserable job to make enough money to take care of the family so that I could take a chance on this. And we put everything on the line, to pick up a couple lasers. I don't know how I talked her into it. She's a psycho. But like, unless you have that situation, if you do, good for you. But if you're not in that situation, like you're talking about working 2 full-time jobs. And if you don't give it full time, it's not going to give you a full-time return. And I think that's like really, really important.
Yeah. And so just like you said, it's not only the passion and the energy and the doing, but also the reflecting on what's working, what's not. And so that's something that I hope that Hustle and Burn brings in, and Maker Tools is more like the aggregation of doing something cool with multiple of those, and plus the business side. But it's just that audience, I think, is going to be something that I think is missing right now. And it's something that I have the passion in. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. So does Hustle and Burn have any like services that that you as a community kind of distribute?
Yeah. we're looking at doing some like consulting services and helping people, like, let's do some one-on-one and help you, what are you doing, and give you just like direct feedback and recommendations, etc.
Yeah.
But primarily it's been more right now just like a Facebook page and giving kind of open kimono.
That's so pure. I love that. Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, just good people trying to help other good people. And that's the feedback we get. You guys are so raw, so real, so sharing and giving. And it's like, there's enough space for everybody to make money here. I mean, It really is.
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, if everybody in the world had a laser tomorrow, not everybody's going to be able to do everything and be a master at it. There's always going to be room. There's always going to be room.
I look at it and go, in the 3 years that I've been in it, my business has taken off and more people have gotten in it.
Yeah.
Right. And I've made more money. So it's like, there's nothing to be like super secretive about. Right. I mean,
you can't tell me that the market is so saturated that you can't be successful when there are people still selling records and people still making paintings and people still making TV shows and movies. Are those markets not oversaturated? But there's, the quality stuff rises to the top. And if you put in the work, you can be the quality stuff rising to the top.
Exactly right.
Yeah. There's no reason why you I wouldn't want anybody, unless they were truly uncommitted to wanting to do this. I wouldn't want anybody to not try. I wouldn't say like, don't bother, goodbye, get out. Because I think you can do it if this really excites you. When I'm sitting here frustrated and pissed off, and I've got the soldering iron in my hand and I'm trying to resolder the stupid EasyCAD 3-board connector that I broke off while I was trying to upgrade my board, I'm happy. Like that, even if I'm angry, I'm happy doing it. And when I go home tonight, I'm going to sleep really well because I got to spend my day messing around with lasers. And if you don't feel that way, even after a day full of failures, if you can't find any joy at the end of that day through the struggle, then maybe this isn't for you.
That is a key point, is that this is I love this stuff. Like, I love the software design. I love the creating. I love using my hands. And those are the people that I think that really take off, right?
Yeah.
If you're looking at this as just, I'm going to make a buck, I'm going to flip $1, you gotta have some, desire, to some passion in it. I see that distinguisher right now with all these people. So Yep, definitely 100%. And I mean, of course, there's exceptions to that rule. We get a lot of people over at Laser Everything that are just like, hi, my boss owns a business and he just bought a laser and he just put me in charge of how to use it. So like, there's like little, okay, like we'll try, we'll see what we can do with that. But like for, I think you would agree the vast majority of people are trying to do something on their own. Absolutely. There's a lot of people with creativity and they want to have a way to express it, and thank God for technology. And I mean, now look, we can go buy these. Do that. So,
we can just do that. Absolutely. Well, we're hitting about the 40-minute mark, so we're almost done. I just kind of like to give like a little warning when we're because we're just talking and I don't want
absolutely.
So just a heads up. So was there anything else specifically that you wanted to cover today while we had you here?
I mean, mainly I'm just happy to see where the laser space is going. It's grown exponentially, and it's really been neat to see. Not only have a lot of people done well profiting and either selling files or selling blanks or products, but I'm seeing so many people learn new things, which is great. I think that's a beauty, is to always be learning, using your hands and doing something different. It gives you a nice distraction from other things that are going on. And so it allows you to be creative and do things. And I think that's actually awesome. And it's great to see that tools like this are available to people. So really not a whole lot more to share, just that, I'm here to kind of help people and bridge that gap of, I'm nervous to start something, to how do you get a business, and, how do you share learnings, right, of what's working and what's not, and always be real. And I guess my biggest thing for people is, I think we're put on this earth to mentor and help others, right? And find people that you can pair up with that fit your personality, and and have, mentors and relationships where you can train and share with them. That's very powerful in this space.
I'm so glad that we got the chance to talk today. Particularly, I'm really happy that you have a not hyper craft related community that's doing so well, and is so open and so helpful. And we've got some female representation in this industry too. It's so important. I think everybody in their minds, when they close their eyes and you say laser engraver, you think there's some like 50-year-old raggedy dude, or like some bored stay-at-home mom. And those are the two extremes, and there's nothing in between. And that's not the case. It's just not. And so having some like representation of just like a wider range of human being that is interested in this and wants to do this, and has a passion and a drive to create their own income. And, I want to be able to showcase that representation as well as possible. So I'm really excited about your community. It's Hustle and Burn on Facebook. If you guys want to check it out, there's a link down in the description. You can go over there and join that group right away. It's growing apparently at 35 to 45 people a day. That's insane. That sounds like somewhere you need to be. So go do that, because I'm going to do it right after the episode. I still don't think I'm on there. I'm not a big Facebooker. I just dunked you into the Discord pool. So you've seen that now, so I need to wander out your way and check out what's going on over on Facebook too.
Hustle and Burn and Maker Tools. That's
Maker
the next
Tools.
one.
Yep, absolutely. And we'll have a link for that too in the description.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent. So Maker Tools and Hustle and Burn community. You go hang out with Alisha and who's the other? Was it started with an M?
Jeremy and Kathy. Melanie Joy on Hustle and Burn.
Melanie. Okay, cool. So hang out with Alisha and Melanie. They're awesome people. There's so much to learn over there, even for people like me. I'm very interested in the H in hustle. I've got the burn down pretty well, not the hustle. I'm not so good at that. So I need to spend some time working on that. If you guys are watching this, thank you so much for hanging out with us for another episode of the Laser Source podcast. I'm sure we're going to have Alisha back on. I feel like I can say that. It sounds like we have a lot to talk about. So we'll definitely re-hit this note for sure. If you enjoy the channel and you like the videos that we're putting up over here at Laser Everything, go sign up for the Laser Master Academy. It's the #1 way to help support the channel. You get a bunch of bonus goodies as kind of like a thank you. We've got bonus live streams where we're messing up projects, and bonus episodes of the podcast go up every now and then. We've got like a lot of extra help and all kinds of other things coming up along the way for you there. It's $8 a month. Go check it out. masters.lasereverything.net. Go check out the 2 Facebook group links below. Don't skip on those. And I think that's it. If you're not already part of the Discord or the Facebook group, go sign up for them. There are good communities out there. There's help out there for you. There's people that genuinely care and want to see you succeed. I know that's weird in today's world, but it's true. They're out there. Those people exist. You just have to kind of reach out. Even if you're introverted like me, just make the first move. I swear, these people are amazing, and they're really great to talk to. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. I've rambled on long enough, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks, Alisha.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.